course, it cost a bomb. And
it's called a junk. And that's the most awesome ship name ever.
And also, Hanlong Bay, there's some beaches that you can actually swim in, but to be honest, in some of these pictures...
Man, I'd be sitting around on the junk making puns all day. It'll be awesome. That will just make it worth it. What's this? Beach?
Yeah, so anyways, yeah, as you can see, it's just a beach now. You're probably thinking, ooh, awesome beach, I can swim. To be honest, if you see some of the colour of the water, I am not so convinced. And, I'll tell you the best part yet. The best part is sometimes after you've had your meal and you look on the water and there's all this white bubbly stuff coming out the boat. Yep, they're throwing their waste.
Throw up into the water?
Of course not. I'm not, no, not at all. But anyways, there's a couple of pictures up ahead here with, as you can see, the different junks, different traditional boats.
Indochina sails.
Yeah.
Obviously have the monopoly on sails in this harbour.
No, there's actually tons and tons of these boats around everywhere.
Yeah, but they're all sporting Indochina sails.
Just this particular area, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. This fleet. Now, also, when you're actually viewing Hanlong Bay, there's a few sites you can go and see. There's a famous cave that we actually went and saw. That was amazing. Like, when I first heard about the cave, I was just kind of like, boring.
Let's have a look at some of these cave pics. Let's get to that.
Okay, so the cave pics are basically the ones over here. As you can see, it's quite amazing. It's actually massive. I mean, look at the size of the people compared to the actual cave.
Is there actually a tour guide, like, taking you through the cave itself, or are you guys showing yourself
No.
around?
You have to take a tour. I mean, the queue is huge, so you actually have to take a tour. But no, it's quite amazing because they've got all these really cool lights, sort of just around, so it makes the cave look a lot cooler. But what's really cool I like about the caves...
It looks just like that episode of Scooby-Doo we were just watching, with the green. You don't get that?
I do, but they wouldn't know. People didn't see Scooby-Doo.
Like everybody has seen Scooby-Doo.
But not that particular episode.
I'm sure that they have.
Anyways, so I thought it was quite amazing because the caves had a lot of sort of ridges and banks, and I was so sure that this cave used to be filled with water at some point. The view outside the caves itself is actually quite amazing, as you can see, overlooking sort of the coastal areas of Hanlong Bay and different boats.
Looks like a ship traffic jam. Looks like ship rush hour.
Nah, not at all. I mean, it's all pretty under control, really. It's quite
cool. They get any pirates? Arr!
Not that I know of. I think that's more in the Philippines. Oops, did I just say that out loud? No.
I think you're talking about Somalia?
I don't know, but apparently Philippines is some as well.
Probably.
Okay, anyway,
Pirate
so
junks.
more pictures of Hanlong Bay, which, as you can see, I mean, the pictures really speak for themselves. I mean, even the camera that I took just doesn't do any wonders. But there's one thing I did that was really cool that I really would recommend for anybody is to go kayaking. I mean, seriously, just kayak Hanlong Bay is actually so much cooler. You know, you just sort of around these mountains around you. It looks very majestic. Actually, it was quite cool. There's a fog because it looks really mythical, in my opinion, compared to like a hot sunny day. And also what we actually did do is we dropped by the floating villages. Now, this is probably one of the highlights for me as well, aside from seeing the actual coastal areas, the Hanlong Bay and all the scenery.
Did you stay there? Like, do they have a little floating hotel for you?
God, no.
That would be funny.
Have a look at that. See that building there?
Yeah.
No, doesn't look like a hotel, does it?
People live in that.
Yeah, people live in there and they spend their whole lives in there. If you see some of the pictures later on, I'll show you.
Reminds me of Waterworld, except, you know, this is probably, like, better without Kevin Costner. Did you see that movie?
No, I didn't.
Don't.
Okay. But anyways, I thought it was quite cool seeing the floating villages. You know, I mean, you see floating villages in a lot of places like in Thailand, but it's quite different from the way these ones are. I mean, like, see that green building there? It's actually a school, by the way.
A school?
Yeah, it's a floating school. And people just spend their whole lives just
Man, my
living
school's
there.
so boring.
I know. And look, there's people just, you know, making a living selling fruits and things, and you just bargain with them. They're really, really nice people. As I said, people who were actually outside the bigger cities were really, really nice. I had no issues with them. And then you can see it from this old lady here. You know, there are people here who actually born, live, and pass on just on these floating villages, you know what I mean? They just spend their whole lives here, not ever being outside of it. And also, I went to this famous particular site of Hanlong Bay, which if you can see, it's meant to be like the Two Roosters. It's right.
What are they called? The Two Roosters.
It's meant to be like I can't quite remember if it's called Two Roosters or sort of two. I'm not sure, but it's just basically two rocks side by side. If you can actually see it, it's if you can see in the picture right there. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Anyways, there's a close up of it, which I've actually taken a few of it. So right here. And you can see us going through it.
Yeah.
And do you more or less...
fascinating natural formation, so to speak.
It is, because you can actually just go right through the whole thing. The view is actually quite spectacular.
I want to know why it's called the Two Roosters.
Is it the Two Roosters or Two Lovers or Two Hearts? Two something. God, I can't remember now. But if you Google it up, I'm sure you can find it. But it's one of the most sort of famous icon of Hanlong Bay.
I'm going to Google it and I'll find out it's like called the Two Rocks.
Maybe it is.
Boring.
Anyways.
Looks cool.
Okay, so this is another picture here I'll show you where, as I was saying, you don't want to swim in these waters. Now do you see what I mean? Looks kind of a bit like a river, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like a swamp. And it's actually the ocean.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's closer towards the coast, so there's probably like mud and dirt and people. And
I mean,
all that
is
kind of
this
stuff.
actually quite inland, or do you just like boat out a little bit and you're in the sea, like out in the open sea?
No, this is
Or
actually in the sea already.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
just the fact that I think this is closer to
It's just
the
a
shore.
harbor. I mean, it's a bay.
The shore and it's a bay. So yeah, that's I mean, at the end of the day, it's called Hanlong Bay. You know what I mean? And obviously you can see a lot of cool rock formations. It is quite an amazing place in terms of the formations of how like the mountains are just so vertical. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we met a lot of cool people. We had a really good time while on the boat. Met a few people from Argentina, Eastern Europe, France, and things. And we
That guy obviously gives this the thumbs up.
yeah, but anyways, we played a lot of card games in the night because there's not much of you. It's quite funny because we see the people who actually was working on the boat, they were just gambling and we're just like playing. Okay, we were playing this really funny game introduced by this Argentinian couple.
You
we
lost
met.
money, didn't you?
No, it was no gambling at all. It was called chancho. It was so funny. Now, chancho in English apparently means like fat. And
That was the name of the card game?
no, it's kind of hard to describe. It's kind of like a
They were just pointing at you
know,
and saying, Chancho.
As an Argentinian person, the game Chancho, I'm sure they'll be able to explain to you.
All right.
At least I hope so. But we had a lot of fun anyways, playing to like sort of 1 a.m. in the morning or something. Okay, so we went to one of the sort of conservation area, and that's sort of the whole view of the Hanlong Bay area, as you can see. So quite amazing.
Is that a map of the area or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of.
right,
You can
okay.
see all the different coasts and the islands,
Gotcha.
really. There's actually a lot of caves and a lot of islands to actually explore, but we only sort of get to see a small portion of it, but it's really quite an amazing place. Now, on the way back to Hanoi, the capital of it, we sort of passed through a lot of countryside and paddies.
Rice
and
fields?
Rice fields, yeah. I think it was quite amazing with the rice fields because, like, there's people who actually, obviously the same, quite alike to the floating villages. People born here, grew up here, live and die in the same place and work in the same place that they actually live in. Like, I mean, you can see tombstones on the rice fields.
Do you mean
and things.
tombstones?
Anyways, where
Tombstones.
people were buried.
Oh, that's
okay?
awesome. You were probably going past and like the guy's name on the epitaph was Tom. Like, there's Tombstone.
I think that's too white, not Vietnamese.
Yeah, but I was just trying to work with me here. Hey.
And anyway,
My
so
tongue's
yeah,
gonna
I
get so
just
bad.
I just thought it was quite interesting how they've actually got a lot of the tombstones like right on the actual patty because it was kind of like gonna make you actually wonder, would you still eat those patties? Would you still eat those rice?
yeah,
I mean,
would.
gotta ask yourself where your rice is coming from. But anyways, okay, so pulling into Hanoi. Okay, so I probably didn't get a very good picture of this because if you see this picture on the postcard, there's no fancy modern buildings
This
behind
does
it.
look like a postcard.
It does, except
Yeah.
normally there's no buildings behind it. I just happened to take it at a time where there were buildings behind it, so it kind of ruined the look. But that's what's left.
You'd be a
of
terrible
the colony.
postcard photographer.
Oh, come on, give me some credit.
No, you'd be good. You'd be good.
Oh,
Sorry.
thank you. But yeah, this is around the famous lake of Hanoi. Now, I really like the climate in Hanoi. I've probably mentioned this a few times already.
Apparently, so do these people.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's actually very, very cozy. And as you can see, there's a couple that's kind of just hanging out.
What is a word that you would use for what they are doing right now? Hit me.
Cuddling. Anyways, moving on.
Cuddling.
And then I got another picture of a couple that
You
was...
see, I would say canoodling.
Yeah, because you have a dirty
Look
mind.
it up.
You have a dirty
Look it up.
mind.
No,
Dirty
look it
mind.
up. It says amorously kissing and cuddling.
Okay,
That's all it means.
anyways, okay, so I got a photo of this couple which was just like standing or climbing on a tree. I mean, can you imagine?
Is that two people or one person in
No,
that
it's two
picture?
people. It's like it's a girl there and a
Really?
guy. Yeah. And can you imagine one
Oh.
slipping or fall into the
Crap,
lake?
no, you're right. Now that I'm looking really closely.
And there's a famous bridge on that lake as well. So Hanoi is actually a really nice place to walk around. Oh, I do have to mention one thing to all of you, and we discovered
It's like
this
a nice
while...
place to go on a date.
I guess so. And I do have to mention this before Luke interrupted me. While you're actually in Vietnam, and we didn't realize this to Hanoi, there's a curfew. Now, basically, you have
What
to be...
time?
12 a.m.
12 a.m.
Yep.
That's not too bad. That could be worse.
No, it's actually really
Yeah.
bizarre because what happened was we went and saw the water puppet show, which I've got a couple of photos of, which was actually very interesting because...
Check it out.
Well, you see a lot of the traditional instruments.
How long do these shows go for?
1.5 hours, I think, not mistaken.
Ugh.
But
If
anyways,
it was any longer than that,
maybe it was half an hour. I can't remember.
half an hour, I'd be there. I'd be there front row.
It's actually really, really cool because, I mean, you see a lot of these puppets, right? They're wooden puppets for one, so they're actually not light. They're actually quite heavy, and they're in water, which makes them even
It
heavier.
looks like it'd be fully like entertaining entertaining, like, to the max for the first 10 minutes at least.
No. It's actually it's quite entertaining because
But
the
after
musical.
half an hour, maybe it drags.
You know this musical instrument that she's using. She's just like plucking a string. It's just a single string.
Yeah.
That instrument is a single string.
Yeah,
and
because
she's
she's
making...
got no device to change the pitch of it while she's...
Yeah, that's right. But that's still pretty cool. And apparently, I think the legend goes women are actually not allowed to play that. Don't ask me why there's a woman playing that. But the rule is, I think men plays this and women falls in love with men who plays this. I don't know.
Maybe it is a man.
Oh, that is
they don't
cold.
do that. They don't do that in Vietnam.
That is cold. That's
Yeah.
no, not at all. But yeah, no.
Men don't dress like that.
I thought the puppets were actually quite cool because they were actually playing with like fire.
They look it.
And they play with fire and all that. You know what I mean? Like can you? And it's wood. It's wooden puppets, and they're lighting stuff up. You know what I mean?
They look so jovial.
It's kind of one
Look
of
at
the.
them go.
It's kind of one of the things to do in Vietnam. So you go see a water puppet show.
What
if you can.
moves the puppets around? Like there's strings and stuff?
No,
or?
there's no strings. It's actually a big long stick, which
Underneath
is why
them,
I'm
okay.
saying that it's not light. I mean, you got to move it and you got to control it.
Yeah,
and all
there's
that kind
probably
of stuff.
people that train for that.
Think of it like foosball, except nothing attached to it because you're having to actually control the doors like that.
Yeah.
A bit like that, yeah. Anyway, so back onto the curfew side of things. So after the water show finished, we went into the markets, right? Oh, speaking of the markets, sorry, I got to show you more of it. Where if you actually see, there's some paper mache. Actually, no, paper mache to a whole new level, more like.
They look like schmancy gift cards.
They actually look quite cool and difficult to make. I bought some because they were actually really cool. And I mean, you can frame them up. I think some of these ones, like the winter, summer ones.
Yeah, man. If you had one of those, you wouldn't have to give someone a present at all. It'd be the present.
Yeah, you're
You'd
just
be
gonna
like,
put in a nice
check
frame.
it out. Yeah.
Put in a nice frame. So, anyways, we were actually in the markets, and then it was sort of like 11:30, and everyone started sort of cleaning up, and we were just like, why is everyone leaving so early? And then next thing you know, everyone just emptied out. And then we found out there was a curfew. We were like, shit, better get back to our hotel. So we did.
What do they arrest you if you're out on the streets?
You're not supposed to, but yeah, generally speaking, the police will actually escort you back. We were actually quite lucky while we were in Hanoi because of the fact that we were staying in this hostel, but when we came back from...
Why is there a curfew?
I don't know, it's a communist country. I mean, they even block Facebook.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But anyway, so we were staying at a hostel, but the place we were staying at ran out of rooms, so they were really nice enough to put us into a hotel instead, so we were lucky. We had a really nice place that night. And the following day, we just kind of explored the city just a little bit more, but other than that, that's basically Vietnam.
All right, thanks, Serena. I hope you guys enjoyed this tour of Vietnam. We've also got more detail on Ho Chi Minh City. Any last thoughts on Ho Chi Minh City? Keep it concise.
We actually we didn't get scammed, but our poor friend did. Jesse, who's like a gringo,
Give us the quick recap.
Yeah. Anyways, what happened was, you know how when you put money in your wallet, so he took stuff out of his pocket and his money fell out. And generally speaking, when money fall out behind you, if it goes missing, it's kind of normal. What happened to him was the money fell out in front of him, and some old lady swoops in and grabs it, and she refused to give it back.
Like a vulture.
Gotta be careful when you're in Vietnam in particular compared to Cambodia and Laos. I really found where you just gotta really be sharp.
Yeah, so, moral of the story, if you're in Vietnam, see the sights, hear the sounds, go to the shows, visit the harbours, but keep your money in your wallet. Yeah.
Or at least try to. But no, they were nice people too, so go and have fun.
All right, thanks for that. We'll catch you guys later.